My name is Monique Testimonial. At age 3, I was molested by my sister's father. We don't share the same father, so my sister's father. He molested me or sexually abused me from age 3 all the way up until age 7, until my mother decided to leave him because he was abusive towards her as well. When she did, I ended up staying, with my grandmother for a little bit, and then at age 8, I was with my mom, and she had a friend who then saw an opportunity to, I guess, abuse me. So I was sexually abused by him from age 8 up until I was about maybe 9 or 10 years old. And with that, I ended up telling, he had a daughter, and I told his daughter, and she ended up telling her mother and told my mother. But out of fear and just shame, I didn't say anything because I was like, you might do something to me. And then time went on, and when I was 16, I got brutally raped. I mean, it was horrible to the point of death. Thanks be to God, I'm here today. But I was raped by, it was a student of my mother's. My mother used to be a school teacher. She's retired. And that was more, that hurt to the core on that one because, one, I didn't know I was going to survive it. And then two, it broke me. And I had to come, when going through it, I had to come to a point of making a choice that was going to change the trajectory of my life, because it was either going to be extremely loose and promiscuous, which I never was, or be extremely frigid and cold and not want to deal with people. And so at that point, I made a choice that I wasn't going to allow that to define who I was. And so I hadn't dealt with it at that point. I hadn't done the work, but I made a choice for myself that I wasn't going to let it define me. So, I go on, I graduate, and then I got married. I got married really young. And I got married thinking that it was going to protect me from being abused. And so it really didn't. It just made everything, the effects of the abuse resurface, because now when you're in a marriage, you're dealing with sexuality. You're dealing with the act of sex is more so now a way of communication, a level of commitment. But for me, I'm looking at it as this is used as a weapon. So I don't want any parts of this. And that's when I had to deal with it and go and talk about it to someone so that I can get healed. And my motivation for it was more so not for my husband at the time, because I'm divorced now, but for my daughter, because I had a daughter, and I felt like she deserved a mother who was whole and not broken. And so I did the work. I realize that I can't change my past. It is what it is. And God only gives you one direction, and it's forward. And so with that, taking tools and realizing that I did nothing wrong, because when it started, I was 3 years old. What could a 3-year-old truly do? And realizing that the shame that the people who abused me tried to put on me, I was not going to take on. That was theirs, not mine, to take on. And I was not going to let it define who I was, because when I got saved, I realized that's not who God created me to be. That was never something that was supposed to be in my life or purposed in my life. That was just something that people decided that they wanted to take advantage and do. And so I was not going to allow that to define who I was. I was going to allow God to define me, and I was going to define myself through that and make sure that I became a complete emotionally, spiritually person for myself and for my daughter, so that I could be a better mom for my daughter. And with that, I always say I'm a survivor or a victor. I never say I'm a victim of sexual abuse, because I did survive. And what was done to me, although whatever their intent was, I am victorious. I mean, I have a daughter who's now graduating high school. I'm finishing school. I'll be graduating next year with my degree in business accounting, and then I'm going to law school. It doesn't define you. If anything, I would say it makes you stronger. Now, would I wish it upon anybody? For sure, no. That's really hard, because when I had my daughter, I made sure to make sure she was protected. But I would advise anyone who's been abused, one, you need to talk to somebody. You need to get do the work to get the help to heal. And when you heal, make a decision for yourself to not allow it to define you. My name is Monique Testimonial, and I am a victorious survivor of sexual abuse.